Hey guys!
Hey guys!
We're back with another OUTCAST review, this time reviewing OUTCAST Season 1, Episode 3, titled All Alone Now. If you haven't seen it yet and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. Okay, I really hope I pronounced this actor's name right, but hats off to Lee Tergesen in his performance as Brock. He absolutely killed it in every single scene. He was the highlight of this episode.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
It was so good. Every scene he was in, he stole it.
Yeah.
Brock, of course, was the police officer who murdered his partner's wife, and he's in prison, and his partner enlisted Reverend Anderson's help in figuring out what is going on with Brock, because this is completely not him. And just the interactions there when Brock is taunting them, like why would you want to help me? I murdered your wife. Like, he's just the animosity and the taunting and the arrogance of Brock was just awesome.
Yeah. He was just like, I really liked his performance because he was possessed, but he was a completely different kind of possessed, and it felt like a different kind of possession, which is hard to do. Most people play possessed the same way, and it just, kudos to him for being able to make it feel different.
And what was great about it is for almost half the episode, I'm like, is he really possessed or is he just a loon? like I almost couldn't tell. I didn't know for sure until Kyle touched him. I was like, okay, yeah, he's possessed. But until then, I was like, man, maybe he is just a psychopath. And just that's a testament to the script and the performance.
Yes.
And those scenes really dominated the episode. But I also want to point out the complimentary scenes with Mark and Megan. When Mark was investigating that trailer and Megan was investigating the hotel room of her stalker or ex or whoever he is. We're not going to give it away. It's from the comics. So we're going to leave it pretty ambiguous. Whoever that guy is, she's investigating his hotel room. And just, they showed him, kind of, Mark investigating, Megan investigating, and then they kind of complimented each other to the point where Mark has a stare down with a wolf, and then Megan is still in the room as the guy is coming back to the room.
Yeah, like the scenes played off each other, and it was almost like the same scene. It was really cool.
It was really just the directing in that, and just it was such a overall it was a great episode.
Yeah.
I know last week a lot of people didn't particularly care for that episode. We really liked it, but this episode really, I think, kind of took the series up a notch.
Yeah. I can understand why people might not like it because the season premiere was so good that there's just no way to make a follow-up to that, and so I think that's why people didn't really care for last week's episode, but kind of got to take them each separately.
Like the premiere was a dead nuts 10.
Yes.
Episode 2 was like a 7, and that's a pretty significant drop off. So I can understand people kind of going, well, that wasn't nearly as good as the first one. Well, you're absolutely right, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
But it was still really good.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end of the episode, we find out that Kyle's neighbor Norval has supposedly killed himself, but we, the viewer, know that it was Sydney because of the straight razor.
Yeah, we see the straight razor, and the only thing Sydney did in this episode, basically, was shave with a straight razor. So,
well, he did cough up some black stuff.
Yeah, that too. But,
so we know that's a human body that he has possessed. And one interesting thing in this episode, we saw how many vitamins he had on that dresser.
Yeah.
And presumably that's so he can maintain habitation of that human body. The body needs those nutrients because being possessed is taking a huge toll on it.
Yeah.
One side note I want to mention, and this is a problem the comic book has as well as the show, is I'm just not invested in Reverend Anderson.
Yeah, I agree. Like, in the comics and in the show, he almost feels disposable.
Yeah.
Like, he's not necessary. And it has the feel like he should be a main character, but I feel like he could leave at any point and the story could continue and you wouldn't even notice his absence.
So that is a flaw with the writing overall. Robert Kirkman is the writer of the OUTCAST comic book, and he's an executive producer on the show. And so he's kind of steering the ship, and that's a flaw on his part, that we have this character who eats up a lot of time on the page and a lot of screen time, and we just don't feel like he's a necessary character.
Yeah.
And so that's a flaw that I really hope they get resolved soon.
Yeah.
Because we're 3 episodes into the show, and we are, I think, 18 or 19 issues into the comic. And by now in the comic, I should feel invested in that guy, and
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
But that is literally the only problem with any of it.
Yes. I completely agree.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you have anything to add, let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to tell us by dropping a like on it and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I bit my tongue when I said review. I did good not flinching though.
Yeah.